Yep, we got
Guys, hi
viewers.
guys.
Hi, hi, hi.
Welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. How's everyone doing? Drop in the comment section.
Let's make this workshop as interactive as possible. Ask your questions, ask your queries, ask any doubts that you have with HyperHack or the LazAI integrations or anything in general. So we are open to answer your questions, and yeah, let's start. I think uh, let's give a quick intro about today's workshop. So this is gonna be regarding the data query server setup. So we're gonna set up a data query server and as well as do the query through the scripts. So why do we even need to set up the server? So this is to preserve privacy when you do query using your private data. We have covered another workshop which takes you through the DATs. So what is DATs? And DATs are data anchoring tokens, and using which you can able to contribute your data, preserve the privacy, and still you can able to monetize it. So there's we had another workshop previously which covered how you can mint your DAT and how you can do inference. So inference is uh, it's a quite costly progress. So you need a GPU setup, and so that's why there's another alternative you can able to integrate, which is also solutions of Alith and so LazAI, and which is also like really similar to AI inferencing. So we're gonna like see how you can set up the query server and how you can able to do a query through like Python script, and you can also do Rust as well as TypeScript. But in this workshop, we're gonna only use Python, and we can go ahead. I'll start sharing my screen, and yeah, pardon our manners. I forgot to introduce ourselves, and I'm Thiru, DevRel at LazAI and Metis, and we have Nidhi here, who is also DevRel at Metis and LazAI. So we I'll start sharing my screen, and also I'll share the demo GitHub repo. You can also check it out. And yeah,
I have a network issue.
yeah, no worries. And yeah, let's start. I just close some other tabs so it won't be an interface. Yep, we here we go. So you can see the GitHub repo here. So this is in LazAI GitHub org, and have provided all the data and all the commands that you need. So first things first, where do we even gonna host this server? So we are not gonna test it through localhost. We are actually gonna test it directly in Fala DE cloud. So Fala will provide you $400 free credits. So we're gonna utilize it. And so even for building this in hackathon, even building this a side project, you won't need like more funds because the $400 would be enough for you to cover for months. So don't have to worry about it. And the requirement is Python version 3.12 plus and Docker, because we gonna uh, containerize our deployment and then deploy it in the Fala TE cloud. So it is really important. And so you have to register it. So that is what I meant as access. And if you want to test it in local, which we are not going to do in this workshop, but if you want to do, I can actually show how you can test it in local as well. But if you want to do, you need the dstack de simulator, because if you deploy it in Fala take care of the TE environment. So that is why even we are using Fala. But if you want to test it in local, your local like desktop, laptop, or MacBook doesn't have a TEE environment. So that is why you use the dstack TEE simulator, so you can test it in your local environment. And there's an important step you have to do, which is registering your server. I'll quickly take you through that. If I click this, it will take you to the server registration form, the name of the team or the individual name, your email, and the team size, the contact person, your wallet address. This is really important. And if you want for the data query, which is in the Fala TE or localhost, or if you're using anything else, you can specify that and you provide your server URL here. If you are just using for the localhost, you can just provide the localhost. If you deploy it in the TE cloud like Fala or any other service, you will get a server URL like this. You will enter that. So once you click that, you can submit it. And I'll so once you submit this form, we will register it, and it'll get back to you through the email that you have provided. And so after the registration is confirmed, you can able to utilize the service, not before that. So keep in mind, so if you run this script, it will still not work for you until you register it through through this form, and you get the confirmation in the email. So keep that in mind. And without further ado, let's start. So these are the basic steps. We're gonna clone this repository, create a virtual environment, install the dependencies, and set up the envs. So let's do that. Let's first step. I'll open a terminal. I've cloned it. I'll go inside the repository, open it in a code editor, and yeah, so far so good. I have I'm inside the repository. The first step is to create the virtual environment. I have created it. I'll activate the environment. So I'm using MacBook. So if you are using Windows, you have to use this command instead of this. And I will install the requirements. So the requirements are basically Alith, Fast API, Ubicon, request.env, OpenAI, and then Pydantic. So that's all. So once the requirements are installed,
Hey,
we
I'm sorry
need.
to cut you off in between, but can you please zoom in a
Oh,
little?
sorry. Yeah, I usually forget this step.
That's okay.
So we are creating a env here and just copying the content from the env.example. I'm gonna take you through. So this is just for the local testing. You don't have to worry about it. And for OpenAI API key, this is this is optional. So LazAI, if you want to use the LazAI service with OpenAI, you are good to go. You can only you just need to provide OpenAI API key. And if you want to use like a free API key, as hackers do usually in the hackathons, they don't want to like spend like real money in hackathons just for like building an MVP. So in that case, you can get a LLM API key from any LLM provider, and it should be OpenAI supported. So you can use OpenRouter, you can use Grok, and then you can use Gemini, you can use any other services, Llama. You can also use like local uh, models as well. If you are running a local model, you are good to go. You can use that as well. And so you'll get the API key, and the base URL is like if you are using open router will be the base URL, and the dstack API key is from the dstack simulator. And this is the RSA private key, so this will be provided along with this. You will get it only when you register it. As I mentioned, when you register through this form, through your registration is confirmed, you will also receive a RSA private key from along with the confirmation. Only with that you can able to register, run and query your server. So keep in mind, so without registration you could not able to use this service. So just want to make sure it is conveyed correctly. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna stop my screen sharing and then take the envs and populate over here. Okay, I'll quickly stop presenting and I'll go ahead and then remove, and I'll go ahead and add the private keys. So I'm gonna use the open router alone. So you can create a free account in open router, and you can get up to like $1 or $2 worth of tokens where you can able to do querying, and the query server actually takes really less, so you don't have to worry about it much. And first thing is we're gonna directly test it in Fala itself, so without any like local testing. Because in like production level, that is what we require. We want to test it in Fala. We don't just want to like run it in our local host. So that is not what we look for. So I have, yeah, I've successfully populated all the env variables that is required for me. Now let me share the screen again. Is my screen visible? Can you confirm it, Nidhi?
Yep, yep.
Cool. Let's. Okay, I'm not gonna open the env file. Then it makes no sense. So
Yeah.
let's go back to the steps. So we have populated the env. We have provided the values for this env, and this is for local environment. We are not gonna touch it. And here, let's run it. So this is to run in the local environment again. So we're gonna like skip these steps, and then we're gonna directly build the Docker image. And for Docker image you need Docker. So I'll open Docker. So Docker is running. Oh, my MacBook running out of charge. Okay, Docker is running. I'm gonna, so once Docker is running, you don't have to like specify anything. Copy this and go over to your repository. Yeah, I'm in the right repository. I'll clear it and I'll paste this command. Here, if you paste the same command, it won't work for everyone. The reason here is this I mentioned over here, Thiru Murugan 7 is my Docker account. So if I open my Docker, you can see this is my username. So this is similar to your GitHub username. So Docker Hub also have, it's like a repository for Docker image. So you need to create an account and sync with your Docker desktop or Docker CLI. And this, I mean, you will have a unique ID. So my ID is Tirumurhan 7. So that is why I have entered Tirumurhan 7 slash. And this is the image that I'm gonna use. My, so this is the name of the image and this is the version. Let's keep the version as 0.2.2.2. I'm rolling a lot today. So I've entered this. The Docker image will start building. So to give you a quick understanding of what is happening when I run this build command. So I have a Docker file which have like the list of commands. So this should be a Python, exactly this version. It should run this setup tools command and basic Linux command to update all the packages. And inside the directory, copy the requirement text and then run the requirements. And these commands are just for the requirements, which is the llama cpp python package. If you want to run this in a dockerized environment, you need to provide these comments. And also like this is another requirement. And once these packages are installed, you need a main file, which is none other than this file, and you will expose it in the 8000 port. Hope my MacBook doesn't shut down before this session ends. Okay, you expose it in 8000 port, and this is the command which is really essential, because any environment, if we don't provide this command, or you doesn't expose the particular port, it it will still run within the TEE environment or Fala or any other environment, but you couldn't able to hit the API, so hit the query, because it is not exposing outside the server, so it is just running, but nobody can able to reach it, nobody can able to reach the server. So that's why you need to provide the host and the port externally, and it have a particular use case as well. So I will show it to you when I take you through actually deploying it. So this command is actually running now, which is the seventh line, installing the llama cpp python. And in the meanwhile, I'll take you through the main.py. So what happens over here? So we have the essential imports and fast API server setup and Alith, imports from Alith, and we get some .envs. So we load the envs, and which is private key. So these variables that we set it up in the .env file, and we are creating a client instance. So this fast API is just a API wrapper. So it is not exactly like anything to do with LazAI. It is, we are wrapping the LazAI query server, because it's a server. So server needs a API client. So that is why we are using the fast API. And over here we have three endpoints. One is health and root. So this is just to set up, just to check whether the server is running or not. It have like any actual utility. The only utility we have is this post route with query slash drag, where we send a file ID, and it will get the file, and it will get the URL, which means the file, each file ID will be mapped along with the IPFS hash. So those IPFS has have like some JSON. So that JSON is nothing but data. So we will get the data, and so if it doesn't, it will return the error. If it does, it will decode it. So that's where the decryption is happening, and it will run a query on it based on the prompt that we send. So how, where exactly we are sending this prompt is, and this is to run the server in a certain route, and so you have to expose it in this way, in this exact way. Then you can able to access the server along with the TEE. So you deploy it in Fala TEE. So only if and only if you provide it in this pattern, where you expose it in this port, you can able to hit the API. So you can able to access the query server outside the TEE client. And this is basic Python implementation to run the API server. And where exact, so if it runs, you can see it over here. It have the query request, right? So the query request, we can able to see like how exactly we can able to query. So this is the main.py is totally for the query server. So it have the scripts to run the query server. So the query server is considered like a API server, your backend for AI, where you can able to query, you can able to analyze private data, which is, it is also running in TEE. So you'll have the attestation and verifiability, and you have to actually hit the API, right? So we are exposing this post route, but we have to actually hit the API. So that's where this query.py comes in. Here you can see we have a particular node that we are mentioning over here, and we are creating a client, and we are checking the get user, whether a particular wallet address is a user or not, else we will add it. So this is just a try and exception part. over here you are getting a URL. So this URL returns from a get query node function, in which we are passing again the address that we declared in the uh, above. So we pass the address to the get query node, it will return a URL, and from the URL we get the actual the node's URL. So this is where you have to mention. So this URL will be registered through this form. So you have to first uh, like deploy it and then register it. Then only you can able to use it. So let's wait for this to run, and I'll check my battery percentage. I don't want to take risk, so I'll quickly get my charger and then plug it in. So yeah, I'll be back in a second.
Yep. All right, guys. Hope that makes sense for you. Like, if you have any doubts or any query regarding this query server setup for the LazAI, feel free to drop. I mean, not feel free, like, of course, like, um, drop your questions, query, or comment or feedback in comment section so that we can get an idea, like, you are understanding, and if you have any questions, so you can take like a very great good advantage of us. So yeah, waiting for your queries, for your questions to get solved. And if you have like later, if you have like more in detail issues going with the setup, server setup for your hyperhead projects, or for like if you're stuck somewhere, feel free to reach out to us in Telegram group, uh, as well as on the forum. Uh, yeah, we will be, I mean, not we will be, we are actually active there. So, and he's back, Thiru is back. Here, I think
Yep,
you're back.
so yep, you added me already. Cool, cool. So I'm
And
back, and the build is already uh
then
done. So that's great. So we didn't waste any time. So the next step is, let's run this command for the multi-platform, because sometimes DE behave a bit weird. So let's not give any chances here. Oh, okay. I need to. So the last version is 2.0.2. I need to update that. This will also take a quite time, and let's wait till this is over. And in the meanwhile, let's also do something. I'll quickly log into Fala and then show you how you can able to. I'll quickly stop sharing my screen and open my browser and log into Fala, so you can able to see how you can able to deploy it in the next step. So we have running the command to build it, but we also need to deploy it. All right, here we go. So the build is still running, but let's not waste any time, and let's go ahead and then create our Fala server. We still have to wait till it is done, but we can at least log in and then create with you have to provide your credit or debit card in the initially. That is because you have to you will get the credits anyway, but you have to provide your key, the card, so that you
so
can
they
able
will
to
like
access it.
you don't have to purchase it, right? Or do we
You
have to
have to
pay
pay
something?
for it. So it won't detect until the $400 credit is due. So
Uh,
once, and then like it's like highly unlikely event where you can able to utilize the whole $400 in a T cloud. So and just consider being in a hackathon project. So that's something. So okay, I have to add my credit card number. Yeah. So what happens is they will still debit $1, and they will refund it immediately. So we got like $20 worth of CVM credit. Usually, I mean, it was. I mean, they. I think like they have reduced it now, but it was $400 before. Okay, so I'll quickly enter my credit card number. Yep. Yeah, I've been doing this a lot, like removing my screen and then adding it again. I got to be, guys,
Yes,
because I
yeah,
don't want to
that's
reveal my
how
credit card
you.
number either.
That's how like we share in this live stream, because they don't allow us to just share the window. They allows us just to share the entire screen.
Yes, so that is a issue, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's like a
we
big
can
issue.
able to.
Not a big issue, but it's more like we have to like turn off our screen every time for the privacy purposes. If they allow us to just share the window, then we can just move the tab somewhere. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, what? Oh, okay. This is really unlikely event, but my credit card is failing. But so if it is failing, if we are unable to create a new account, I can still show it to you through my like previous account, because I want to show the whole process how it works. And if like some users might be using te for the first time, fala for the first time, so that's why we wanted to show them the whole flow, even creating an account in fala I just created, and setting it up. So I think um, okay. Yes.
Let me know when we are good to share your screen. I'll add it to the stage. Guys, show up some engagement. Let's have questions for the Thiru. Like,
We
I
have
really
no so far.
appreciate I really appreciate you all if you threw out like tons of questions to the Thiru today.
Yeah, guys, shoot me some questions.
We need to like take really good advantage of him. So because he has been like working on this LazAI thing a lot, and he has like more knowledge on for this. So we should really take the good advantage of him. Uh, Dude,
Yep.
let us know if you want to add your screen to the stage, because I do have that access. So you don't have to like uh, go to your Chrome browser and to remove it. I can do
Sure.
it.
Yeah, you can you, you can add me to it.
Sure.
So what happened is, even though I wanted to start from the beginning, here I can show. Okay, this is just the last number. There were some issues with my card, I guess. So this was it was like totally unexpected. So, but like your card will still work because I used the same one to create this. It was all good. And then the next step is basically you go to deploy over here, and click docker compose here, and here, so it can be anything. Let's name it data query server. And this is the important part, the compose, the YAML file. So where do you get YAML file? um okay, but anyway, we have to wait for some time till this command is running. So actually this this particular image will be pushed so we can able to use it. And there's something beautiful about the Docker images. You don't have to, so I have set up this Docker image to this particular version v 2.0.2. You can use the same YAML file. So if I go here, so the image is the YAML file I need to change. So this is my file. I just change it over here, and that's it. So that's all I need to do. I just change the image and we are good to go. I can also show you something. So I have already a server that is running. I can show it like how I have set it up the YAML file as well. So we can take an example of that as well. So this is another data query server that I have set up. And here in the update code, you can see the image. So it is this 2.0.1. So you can use the same version without, like, you don't even have to like do the Docker compose again and again. You can just use my image itself. So unless you don't want to like change anything, if you just want to hit the query, you can use this image itself. This is available in Docker Hub. It is for the public use. But if you want to like do certain changes for your uh, the query server, if you want to integrate anything else, so that's why this whole tutorial is meant to for you to know like how exactly you can able to deploy it from scratch, and even with like creating a CVM. So once you created it, you will have this similar setup where you can able to see the CVM's GPU. Once the credit card debit card is accepted, you will have this UI. And it's unfortunate my card is declined. Yeah, bad day for me. So as I have already a deployment running, I have one. Otherwise, you will have none, of course. And let's run this. I'll copy the file from here. I'll just check whether I'm changing. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this. I'll also paste it somewhere else. So this, and so once I have entered this, I also need to uh like choose something here. Small. I'll take like medium. So this is basically the memory and then storage you will have. So you can choose large as well. I'm taking medium, and this is the uh, place where you have to enter your secrets. So I have to again take the env. So Nidhi, can you take me out of the stage?
Yep. Done.
So I have the env. I copy it and bring it over here, and so yeah, you can take me in again.
Sure. Go to the tab.
Yeah, I just give a name for the server, and I have already entered the env over here. So this is a crucial step. So even in my first time, I forgot to enter the env, and then it took me longer to figure it out. So don't forget to enter the envs. I have entered the envs. I've selected the resource plan, and I'm gonna hit deploy. Yeah. So the data query server is setting up. And this is not the last step, guys. So once this is set up, we have to do the fill the we have to fill this form here. So we have to provide the URL that we're gonna get from this server, paste it over here, and we have to provide the wallet address. Which wallet address? It couldn't be like any wallet address or your usual wallet address. What the wallet address meant here is the server address. So what is the server address? Here, for the env, we have provided a private key. So basically the public key of the private key that we have provided in the env. So that is the wallet address you have to enter here. and the server URL that you will get in few minutes. Yeah, the CVM is still booting. Okay, so it is taking some time. So once you get the URL here, you will use it, and you will paste it exactly here. And if you want to just test it in local, you have to provide the your same wallet address and the local host 8000, or any port that you are using, that you're gonna use. If you use different port, you won't be able to access the server. So you have to mention the exact port that you're gonna run your server in the local, and then you can able to test it. So so once the URL is retrieved, you can able to register, and I'll show you the previous example that I have, which is already registered, and I have it running here. This app is running. So this is just a 2.0.1 version, the previous version of the same image. Here you can see a URL is running in 8000 port. So this 8000 port, this is the endpoint one. So because in Fallout, the 8090 port is default for the dashboard. So that is why we need the endpoint one, where we exposed a, a particular port which is 8000. I can copy this and I can open it up. Here you can see the the root node that we mentioned over here in the main.py. In the root node, we just say the LazAI privacy query node. And if we go to health, it will show the server is running. So which means the server is running. It's all good. Now we can able to hit the query.py. So in this query.py, here's what. So it is still running. Okay, now I understand the issue. So we are trying to get the 2.0.2 version of the image, but it is not existing. So that is why this server is still running. If we change this to zero point 0.1, it will work. Yeah, I need to update the keys again. Shall I?
Uh, do you want me to
Am I audible?
Yeah. Do you want me to remove you from the stage? Your screen? Okay, you did.
So that's the issue. So I think you understand. So you need the envs, and you need the correct docker image. So now I get like still the docker pushing the image, which is the 2.0.1. So the image couldn't able to render it in the TE. So once we change that, it will work. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm switching the screen slot just to make sure it is working. So now it will work. So I hope you understand the issue we got, because this is still running and it will take probably another 10 to 15 minutes. Some packages are like takes a long time to install. So some of them are llama, cpp, python, as well as this model. So we have this running, and it will run in few minutes. So without further ado, we let's hit it through just the curl command itself. So this is the URL of the server that I'm running, and I provided a script. So the prompt, which is what is Alith, and along with the file ID, because File ID is basically the DAT file ID, and file ID is a unique ID which holds abstract private data, which is which is encrypted, and it basically contains some things about Alith, and like a lot of things about Alith, and then we ask like what is Alith, and then it will provide a descriptive data based on this query that we sent. And I have something interesting for you guys. You all know about Naruto. So we have a file ID which is 10, and it have data containing Naruto just for like fun testing purpose. So I'll ask what is Ninja Clan. Let's make this tutorial fun, and I hit it. So at the meantime, we can also test how the server is behaving in the logs. We have the logs here, and these are the VM logs. We don't have to worry about it. Here, we can see at timing and the the request like types along with the endpoints and the response type as well. So here 200 means okay, which is like the response went well, and we can see we have data as well, which is yeah, hidden leaf village, and like you can see the rank, and then it provides a data mean from the abstract data the file holds, and where the file is, it is in the IPFS, and here's the URL of the IPFS. It is still, it provides the IPFS. You would not able to get the whole data because it will be private and then encrypted. Only LazAI can able to decrypt and make a query on it. So that's why you provide your data, but you don't just expose it and make it transferable to the world. It is still private, it is still encrypted, and you will still make money out of it. How? Because whenever LLM is trained on top of your data, you will get a revenue share. So uh, I have provided this file ID 10. So whenever LLM train using this file ID 10, so they have to pay a small fee, and I will receive it. So that is how the DAT democratize and decentralize the training of data, and then through the DAT minting. So now you can able to see how you can able to hit it just through curl command, but you can also do it through Python as well. For that, first thing I have to do is we have where is it? So basically, oh, it is almost there. I don't have to wait for that either. I'll open a split terminal. Okay, this is useless. Yep, so let's activate the virtual environment. And so we are in the virtual environment. I think we need to install alith pip install Alith, and also to make sure you are using the decent version of Alith. So how we can check is there is this pypy.org website, and then you can search for Alith, and you can also check for the like history, and you can see the most recent version is on August 4th. But for this we can use this 0. On 10.4 itself. Hit the command, and the next step is I run the query.py script. So as the query.py script have the node URL, which is the node that I have running already, and it will try to get whether this user is within this client, is he already registered. So the registration process, it's different than the registration process I showed through the Google form. That is for the query server, and not everyone have to like deploy their own query server. So the query server you can deploy for this hackathon seek just for you to get a response quickly. And this in a long run, so query server will be a monetizable asset. So it is like a different thing, like how a node providers exist. So you can run your query server as well, similar to a node, and you can able to earn through it. I have to expose my private key, and so yeah, one more time, guys.
You can revoke it later, maybe.
I'll quickly export my private key. So
Just let me know
because
when
for the
there
querying
it is.
purpose, you just need private key. You don't need anything else. So I hit clear. Nidhi, please add me in.
Yep. You are in.
Am I
I'm
already
having
added to the stage?
yeah, I'm having network issue. I'm having network issue actually, but you are in.
Okay,
Am
cool.
I audible?
Now let's hit Python query.py. Okay, so now you can see not this file here. It it is in the try statement. It tries to get the file, get the user, and it does get the user. So this is my node address, and this is my address, and it. So what happens here is, this is a node address. This is the deposit amount I have deposited already, and this this is my account, the account that I am calling from. And it means I am already registered, and this list contains the list of addresses that is allowed to query this particular query server. And how to get allowed to that? So basically, if you are not an existing user, so the client will call the add user function and pass this much amount of fee for as a deposit fee, like like a subscription fee to query this particular node. So node, in a sense, yeah, you can call it a node because it acts as a individual server serving for the LLM queries, and it gets the query URL, and it also gets the URL. Here, what the URL is mentioned here. So this is the same URL that I showed in the Fala server, and we have the response as well. So the response is again, okay, this is still again the Naruto. So it provides the data. So the query that I sent is summarize the best character. Guess who's the best character? Kisame Hoshigaki. Okay, that I didn't expect, but so it returns based on the data that is already in the file ID 10. So that's how you can able to set up your query server, register it, get acceptance, and then through the private key you can able to set it up, and you can able to query through the query.py. And all the scripts and all the, I'm sorry guys, all the scripts and all the commands are mentioned in here, the readme file. So do we have any questions? Okay, we don't have any questions other than one question, which is what is LazAI? So LazAI is a EVM chain, and it also provides a decentralizable and verifiable AI compute. So where you can able to train your data, which is available through the DAT marketplace, and in which the data contributors also get incentivized, unlike the existing LLM models where all the LLM models just use the public data without incentivizing anyone. So that's how like you can able to, as a data contributor, you can able to earn to the DATs, and there will be a marketplace for the LLMs to train. And whenever the LLM is being trained using a particular DAT which contains the private data, the DAT mentor will get the incentive. And then whenever a query is placed on a particular file ID which is related to a DAT, and again the contributor will get a incentive for every query. And even for this query, we so why do we even provide a private key to run the query? because it will run a transaction. So for even for registering, which is the ad user, or even for querying, so we have to pay a small fee. So for testnet, it doesn't matter because it's all basically the testnet tokens. But for mainnet, it is one of the best way for data contributors to get incentive, and then so the agents or anything that users will pay us a small incentive for every query that does on the given data using the DATs. So do we have any questions? We have 287 people, and then everyone just understood the data query. So
I think at least
without
we
like
have
no one
like
have a single question.
50 questions. We should have at least 50 questions in the
I think there's an
comments.
issue with my speaker.
No,
I'm a,
I think I am having issue today with my internet. I don't know if I'm audible, like if my voice is going in the
am I
live.
audible so far?
Yes, you are.
Sorry.
You are. Can you hear me? I don't think I'm audible, like my voice is going to you.
Okay. Okay. I think this session. So if we don't have any questions, we can wrap the session. I was honestly expecting a lot of questions because this is the first time we are throwing this the new jargon data query server. I was expecting a lot of questions, but if you think if you're shy, you don't worry about it. You can ask us in TG in our forum, and we'll be happy to help you out. And happy to see another hackathon project Frosca here, and then hope uh, this adds value to you and as well as the other projects. And if you have any issues facing while integrating LazAI and while integrating Hyperion, we are here to help you out. And there's a good news as well. The hyper hack deadline is getting extended. It is supposed to be today, this is supposed to be the last day of Hyperion hackathon,
Yeah.
but we are extending it as the community required it, and we always listen to the community, and here we are. And there's a community voting actually going on, so based on it, the deadline is decided. It's either 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and a lot of the hackers aligned towards 2 week extension instead of 3 weeks. That's interesting to see, and we are extending it, and we're gonna have two more workshops in that case and two more vibe session. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So still no questions. We have 292 viewers across
We will be
platforms,
doing
but
like all
yeah. So feel
query
free to
server
drop your
setup.
questions even after this. So drop it in the comments. Our team will get back to you. And if you have any particular questions, tech integration, come to the TG and reach out to us. One of us from the DevRel team will get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah. I
Awesome.
think, am I audible now or not? Because I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
been.
you're audible now.
Ah, I was speaking to for last few minutes, but I felt that I'm not audible. Anyway, we are wrapping up this now.
Awesome.
All right,
All
guys.
right.
Yeah. See you on the next workshop on the same day with another series episode of the workshop. And till then, feel free to reach out us on the, as he mentioned, on the TG or in the forum, like however you're comfortable. But make sure you share your issues with us. And yeah, see you next
All right,
week.
guys.
Till then,
Bye.
bye guys. Take care.